Hello, my name is Logan Kaplan, and this is my YouTube channel. And today I am going to start it. Now, that might indicate the title of this video being Start Today. Why did I title this video Start Today? It's a very simple reason. I've been pushing off doing this for a very long time. I have a main YouTube channel. It is called Republic Studs. I do Lego videos on it. It's really cool. It has been my passion project, and it has been what I've spent so much of my time on since I was, 14 years old. Now, why start a brand new YouTube channel? Granted, I have a second channel, but it's basically a facet of that channel. Why start something completely new? And I want to be able to document my experiences over the last few years, as well as be able to document them going forward. I want to be able to tell you kind of where I came from, an introduction to me as a person, and I want this whole YouTube channel to kind of come off as a documentary style series that you will follow, but it's day to day of what I'm doing in life. In relation to business, in relation to everything, I want to do so much with this account. I want to be able to teach new subjects. I am a big fan of history. I'm a big fan of politics, and I like to consider myself religious anyway. And there is so much I would like to just be able to tell the world about, or at least document for myself. For historical purposes, just that way I could look back and see where I can improve form. I want to be able to use this as a vehicle to become more articulate and to teach myself how to better give myself a decent command of both the English language and just how to properly articulate my thoughts and opinions. I think the best way to go about that is just by simply doing it. And that's why I'm, again, titling this video Start Today. I've been pushing this off. I say, I want to do it perfectly. I want to do all the right things, make sure I launch it to great success, and that it will do very well. And it gets to a point where there's only so much planning you could do going into something like this. So I thought it would make sense to just start completely raw, unedited video clip, and we're going to upload it. It'll get no views, but that's okay because we're going to be doing a lot with this, and I'm very excited. So I'll give an actual introduction to myself. There are a lot of things out there about me. I've been on a handful of podcasts. People have a general sense of my deal. So I guess I'll try to give a honest, full telling of my story, and we'll go with it from there. So my name's Logan Kaplan. I am 18 years old as we speak. It is November 13th, and I have been not the most typical person my whole life. Some would say I followed the YouTuber model of what you do in life, where it's, you just are very passionate about YouTube, and then you start a channel and you start doing videos and stuff like that. So that might be a part of it. Mine has some other facets, but ever since I was a little kid, I had a fascination. I had a fascination with toys, and I had a fascination with being right and being able to understand things. And I did a video recently, actually, where I built my childhood home in Lego. And that was kind of a fascinating experience because it forced me to go back and actually take in my whole childhood. And since I'm only 18, I don't have that much history. If you talk to most people who do videos like this, they have a great substantial history of things and experiences they've had. I'm still fairly limited in that regard, because I have only actually been out in the world now for 3 months, 4 months-ish. For up until then, I had been living with my parents, and that was in New Jersey. I grew up in Monmouth County in New Jersey, in Ocean Township, a great little town I love very dearly, and I went to the public school there. I decided around the age of 15, 16-ish, around 15, that I wanted to become a religious Jew. It was something that was deeply important to me. Right around COVID, so that was 2020, right around 2020, I decided that I wanted to read the Bible, the Torah. Just the first 5 books of Moses. I don't know entirely what it was that possessed me to do so. I just felt this is an important piece of literature that I should read. I had this thing, and it changed my life in some sense. I don't even know if it's because of the actual text itself, but it's about the ways in which our forefathers were able to have a relationship to Hashem, who is God. That's the name for God in Judaism, or one of the various names for God. And I wanted that. My family was not properly religious. Obviously, everyone's religious in their own way, but they were not like Orthodox or in any sense of the imagination. We did not keep kosher. We did not do a lot of the mandates that we're supposed to do that are biblically mandated. And I decided that's something that I wanted to take on to further my relationship with God. And I have been constantly striving for that relationship. And I think that's also going to be a factor of this channel. And we're going to dive more into that at another time. But I just wanted to kind of open all this as a bit of a teaser following that. Now, that's where I guess I come from religiously. Professionally, I started really getting involved in the internet world when I was like 9 years old. My parents gave me an Instagram account, which I don't know if I would do for my kids at 9, but you know, I got an Instagram account. It was called Puppet Master L, and that's where I started doing all of my first involvements in online communities in the Lego space, and I ended up getting like 600-700 followers, which was a lot back then on Instagram. The communities were not nearly the same as there were. I got up to 700 followers, and that was nuts for people back then, especially because I didn't know most of them. And I would just do Lego posts. I'd do fun Lego posts. I would do stuff related to the Muppets. It was whatever. I'm gonna poke this up to me so I don't have to carry it. It was like not a high quality account, but I did get to meet some people through it. And some of those people I still know to this day through online. I've actually met some of them, which is really cool. Now, I did that from when I was 9 until I was about 11, 12. I got really involved in this guy, Daily Tactics YouTube community. He did a lot of Lego Clone Troopers, and he actually was a hugely inspirational person for me to start my own YouTube channel. One of my first videos on my main YouTube channel, Republic Studs, was in relation to his daily squad. He has Clone Troopers. And from then on, I went on to create a bunch of stuff, mostly centered around him. I started off really as a fan page towards him with lots of Lego integrated content, generally all Lego Star Wars. And then around, I don't know, 2020. Yeah, like early 2020 was really, I was working on a big project called Rico Lego Star Wars Story. It was a stop motion, one I was very passionate about. And I was like, great, we have 2 weeks off because COVID had just happened and I could work on my project. Now, then that led into me having off the entire year and launching the Republic Studs brand. It got wildly successful. I was making like real money. I was making like $200, $300 a month off of this YouTube channel when I was 14 years old, and thousands of people were watching it. And I would do live streams, and I had a very engaged community, and it was awesome. I had the finger on the pulse, I think, of where a lot of people were. And I was playing to a very particular audience because there were a bunch of kids like me. I don't mean to pat myself on the back when I say this, but I am unaware of anyone else who was that age and doing YouTube at that size and that consistently. And I'm sure there are some people now that I might not be thinking of at this moment. But to be 14 and to be able to get up to like 5,000, 6,000 subscribers, that was a huge deal at the time because there was a whole audience of people. And they are all that age. And they were watching people that were significantly older than them, that could buy whatever they wanted. I was able to meet these people where they were because I was at essentially the same level they were. I had a budget. I couldn't just buy unlimited Lego at the time. And it's weird because now I kind of can. Any Lego set I really want, I could get. And back then, it was like, this video I had $60. And it was a huge deal. And I spent $60 on like 12 Clone Troopers. And I was able to show you how I got this amazing deal. And people were very into it. It was very relatable. And I liked that a lot. And as things grew, they grew really big. And I had a studio up in my room, and I ended up moving it into the basement. And I had a summer job. And I remember my first summer job, I worked at a summer camp. I got paid $100 for the whole summer. And here I was making hundreds of dollars on YouTube in my spare time when I wasn't there 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day actually. And there's something clicked in me. I'm like, I could do this full time if I wanted to. At that point, I was probably getting close. I was doing pretty well. By the next time the next summer rolled around and I was doing more videos, I'd gotten a job at a beach and I was making way more, like at least like 10 times what I was working at a beach at a government job. It was at that point I also learned that I could never be an employee. I don't feel comfortable working for somebody else's goals, and I don't feel comfortable with limits. I want my potential to be unlimited, and I don't like saying I was a badge checker at this beach club. And there were 2 of us. First off, there didn't need to be two of us up there. I'm a very big proponent of efficiency. And we sit there all day and I read books. And it was nice, and I read books and I got paid off the government dime to read and do nothing. And I very much liked the people I worked with, but I decided it wasn't for me and I don't want another job proper again. And from then on, I've been a YouTuber full time, with the exception of actually going through high school. But I put in the hours full time. I was still doing 40 hours every week. Around 2022, around the second half of that year, I actually went to a Lego convention in that summer. It was the first time I really got to dip my toes in the world I lived, that world that I lived in. And that was a groundbreaking experience for me. Now, I occasionally had people recognize me in public. It was a very rare occurrence. Like when I would go to Lego stores or whatever, people would know who I was. I went to this. I was this 15-year-old kid. And maybe I was 16. I was a 15-year-old kid. And I had people coming up to me, 50-year-olds, 20-year-olds, 10-year-olds, coming up to me, asking me to take a picture with me. Some kid who films Lego videos in his basement. And that was an interesting experience, to say the least. Long and the short of it, I ended up going on to make a switch in the style of content I did. I did a lot of Lego Star Wars news. I did a lot of reviews, boring, whatever Lego content. And I really decided I wanted to make something that was everlasting, something you could watch 3 years down the line and will still be relevant that day, 3 years from now. And that's what I did. I started making long-form videos. I made every Star Wars movie. I built a clone army in 7 days, just a little entertainment. And it got further and further and further, and that leads us to today, where I'm about to release what is one of my most insane projects. Yeah, I built the Wizard of Oz in Lego, and we have a digital animator. I had a digital animator for it. I have 5 people that work for me. And my digital animator, who is a recent hire, this is his first big video to come out, rendered the most insane looking graphic I've ever seen. And I'm gonna kind of walk through all these different processes another time, but it's just to kind of show you the evolution. I have this insane videos. They all get hundreds of thousands of views. And I had that very early on. I was able to work really hard early on and create almost a cushion for myself. I don't know if I call it as a cushion or I call it a leap pad. This would be like a pad for me to leap from one section to another, and I'll be able to do that at a much more accelerated pace than most people because I built all the fundamentals at a different time. Well, most people are building the fundamentals when they come out of college. They're building their skill sets when they actually are done with school. I did that while I was in high school. So I get to come at it from a bit of a different angle, and I think documenting that process will be very cool. Now, to wrap this up, my goal with this channel is twofold. One, to document these experiences for myself, and 2, to add value to you. I think if you are a person watching this, that you will get something useful from this. I do not want this to be something where you just kind of watch it for entertainment. I want this to be deeply impactful for you, and I want to be able to add value to people's lives through it. We are going to be talking about a lot. I am going to be doing deep dives into books. I am going to be doing deep dives into history things. There's so much I'd love to do. I want to do movies. because I am a huge fan of movies and I want to make it really entertaining. And they're not all going to be like this. I'm going to try and get them well edited and we're going to make some really solid stuff. But until then, I just need to start today and upload this video. I bought a phone just for this channel. I bought this phone that this is recording on because I want to be able to keep this separate. It's very difficult when you have an actual phone and you're doing Lego stuff on it and you'd be doing this on it and you'd be doing your personal life stuff on it. And I want to be able to separate this and just make this my Republic Studs, or rather my Logan Kaplan channel. I think this will be a great experiment and a great journey, and I just hope you will stick along and follow me through it. God bless. Stay awesome.